her ripping and running from weekends. I got him running around and I'm running about what he said. I run, she said. Don't worry about weekends, don't worry about me, yeah. I done been too much, you know, I'm just it got my back. Even though I seen it all plan on it, all I can do is sit back and laugh. It get heavy, baby, it get heavy. Get this fetty, baby, I be headed. Don't be petty, oh. This time I'm just crying like a dilly. Yeah, it get heavy, but you know your boy gotta get
Yo, 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 yo. What is good, people? This is your boy TP from your Don't Listen podcast.
I don't know about you, but
And yes, we are
I
back
just
in the
understand
building.
that, you know,
Now today,
this life shit,
you know,
it's a lot harder.
we gonna sit around, we gonna do a freestyle. We gonna do a freestyle for the folk.
Even if it's better than
Now,
myself.
I'm not talking about music.
A lot of people hate to
Gonna
see
be
you
talking
winning and
about
being attached
politics
to it,
in this one. But
Let that shit
yeah,
replay
we're
in your
gonna do
mind.
a freestyle for y'all today. Right? Now, I don't know if you all noticed, but at the bottom of the screen there is a ticker. So let's read what's on the ticker. Democrats, Republicans. Why do most people think they owe them their vote? And why do they have such a hold on the black vote when they never deliver for us? Right? So, with that being said, let's get to the skinny, right? Because this has been a particular conversation that I had with a few folks at the JOB and family members in other places. You know, is getting to the point where this is the year, right? 2024 is the year that we got to vote. And it's also the year that, you know, everything's going to ramp up between both parties. Everything's going to ramp up where they try to sell you on why we should vote for them. Now, the conversations that I've been having is very simple ones. I would say more people are still in the mindset of let's pick the lesser of two evils, right? For black folk, in my opinion, I think it really doesn't matter who's going to be the president for black folk because we know if it's Republicans or if it's Democrats, nothing as far as legislation is going to happen for us, right? So with that being said, I have a question for my fellow black citizens, people of color. Why do we as a people run out in droves and vote for Democrats? It's a question I would like to know myself because I used to be that person because of my upbringing and because of the misinformation that I was subjected to. I found myself running to the polls and just go down the line. Democrat, 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 Democrats. I did that for many years, right? And now that I'm older and I look back on all my past history of voting, I said, all them years I voted, did anything significantly change in my life due to the people that I helped put in power? That was a question that I asked myself. I said, damn, all these years I voted for Democrats. I would say 90%, if not more, of the people I know voted for Democrats. So why didn't my life change significantly? Or all the promises that has been made over the years, why haven't I seen anything of significance for my people in the first place, right? And not only did I not see a significant change for my people, I haven't seen a significant change for anybody, right? But we still run to the polls, keep pressing Republican, keep pressing Democrat. And what are they delivering for us? This is the question that I have for anybody. And if you do have answers, right, it's very simple. It's very simple for you to just put them down in the comments. Let me know if you thinking the same way that I'm thinking, because I'm looking at things as if I'm at a point where I'm tired of voting for the lesser of two evils, right? I'm tired of running to the polls because I've been propagandized so much that the other side is bad when they both pretty much do nothing for the people, right? Because as we sit back, excuse me, if we sit back and we look at what's going on right now, as far as all these different wars, right? And if you go back to where COVID was, the beginning of COVID, and how hard it was for them to cut us a check for a little bit of the money that they take from us. How hard it was to get legislation passed, to get people money, to give them some kind of, you know, relief. Because first of all, they sent us all home, so we couldn't work, right? So all people was at, hey, we help finance this government. Can y'all help us in a time of need? And could we get some help? But oh no, it was a long drawn out conclusion, and they cut a couple people some checks. Right, everybody didn't get one. I know I did, but it was a lot of people. The ones that did get it, it still wasn't enough for them to stay in their homes. A lot of people lost their homes. So I'm sitting back and I'm thinking like, damn, when Ukraine needed money, that shit passed in Congress so fast, right out the door, they got their money, right? When Israel, as of right now, needed money for their war, goes through the Congress so fast. I mean, by the time you took your head and did that, they already had their money. But when it comes to the American people, they got to have all this debate on the Hill. Oh, no, we can't just give the money to the people. We have to debate it. And then we have to rationalize it to us why we should do it. And then after they do it, they find a way to get some of it back, which was inflation. And they try to use that as a reason. Oh, since we flooded the economy with so much money, everything for the prices has to go up, which was a load of crap. It was just the capitalists in this country saw that some folks had some money and they wanted more of it. Let's keep it a hundo. The predatory businesses that exist here in America figured out a way to take more of our hard-earned money. And if you are a hardworking American, which a whole lot of folks are, they had to deal with these high costs, and we are still dealing with these high costs. Nothing went back to what the normal was. Gas is still, it said, you're paying under $3, you have a break. Really? Is that a break for somebody making 15 bucks an hour or less? Or let's just say you making a little more than that. Are you seeing any relief at the pump now that it's $3 instead of 5, 6, or whatever the hell it was? So with me saying that and me thinking of all the propaganda that was spit, and I see all these other places getting, they just go to our government and say, yes, we need this. And our governments, yes, we have that money. But when it comes to its own citizens, we have to jump over hoops and fly things into outer space and find out why we should give it to its own citizens. And then what is our reward for being that? Oh, we're going to start war and get some of you people killed. That's it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. But when you bring these simple truths out, the censorship that happens to most folk happens at a high level. Because now, where you had an independent space, where you had voices that was different from mainstream media, from the stuff that you could see on TV, which was people was going to the internet to find their information, find their news, find it. Now they are flooding the internet with the same stuff they putting on TV because they want to drown out independent voices, truth tellers, and they flooding us with bull crap that they was propagandizing us on TV with. Now it's all over the internet and taking places and taking spaces of normal people that was trying to bring you reality and facts. Right? So with the words that I would say, people might call me a conspiracy theorist with me saying that. But what is the purpose of all these already famous people flooding spots that was for regular average Jews making videos like me. It's to drown the noise. It's to clog the system up with so much stuff that's really garbage so you can't get to the good stuff, right? Now I know everybody have their preferences of what they want to watch, but they try to keep these already famous people in your face because they are ready to tell the mainstream narrative. Oh yeah. They continue to want sheep and people still oblige them by being sheep, right? Because when I have these conversations, political conversations with people, and I say, well, who are you going to vote for? They really don't want to tell me. But the ones that do tell me, it's like unequivocally Joe Biden, he's the lesser of two evils. Is he really? Can anybody really say that? Because all's I know in this presidency is that they like to participate in starting wars. And I think they call it saber rattling, right? Yeah, we don't like what China's doing. What are they doing? We don't like what Russia's doing. What are they doing? We don't like what Palestinians are doing. What are they doing? We don't like what Africans are doing. And I would like to say, salute to the African nations that are actually coming out and denouncing what's going on over there in Palestine, in Israel. They have the heart to actually say what's really going on. And if y'all don't know what that is, y'all need to look that up because the narrative we're getting from TV, the narrative we get from a lot of these pundits online that's flooding the internet with misinformation. If you see that stuff, you start thinking different. And this is why I have come to the conclusion of thinking different. Because I think it is time for black folk specifically, but all folks in general to ask more of our politicians. Demand more, not ask, demand more of them. Because they supposed to work for the people. We put them in office and the platforms that they run off, not nothing we demand, stuff they say themselves. They get in there and do absolutely nothing. And all they like to do is to blame the other side. Oh, the reason why we can't do nothing because Republicans are blocking it. Let's see. If you are able to say that after you had total control of the House and the Senate and the presidency, which gave you the ability to pass whatever legislation that you wanted for the first 2 years of Biden, they had a majority. And what happened? two Democrats found a way to vote against Democratic legislation, right? We all know who they are: Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. They formally called themselves Democrats, but they really was something of a hybrid. And if it wasn't those two, they would have found two more, because it always seemed to be some person in a purple state, or they find somebody to block their own legislation. Because Joe Biden did have steam coming into office, had a lot. They successfully beat Donald Trump in an election. And he was coming in talking about, you actually need a president that's going to preside and do some, what do they call it? Some working with the other side. Bipartisan president, right? But what I would say, when Republicans are in office and hold power, they don't ever talk about bipartisan anything. Is their way or no way, right? But Democrats always seem to fold, which is a cowardly move. Because if you believe in the principles that you tout, there will be no folding for you, just like there's no folding for Republicans. But they always find a way to fold. And then after they fold, they blame it on Republicans for not being able to get shit done. Excuse me. So which one is it? We have, it seemed like as of right now, we have two choices, right? We got Donald Trump and you got Joe Biden, right? Because there are other people running, right? But they ain't really getting no coverage on mainstream media. The ones that do are the mainstays. But the three independents that are running, that's worth talking about, in my opinion, right? Cornel West, Jill Stein, RFK Jr., right? Then you got Donald Trump, and you got you got Marianne Williamson too as well, right? Then you have Donald Trump and Joe Biden, right? So there it is. Marianne Williamson, Jill Stein, Dr. Cornel West, RFK Jr., Donald Trump, and Joe Biden, right? So let's talk about Donald Trump first. Let's get him out the way. The man that said he want to create a border wall. The man that also said he wanted to get rid of Obamacare and come up with his own health care plan that's going to be better than anything that Americans have ever seen. And I know a lot of people that watch this are living in countries where healthcare is just built in. And we don't have that here. You don't have money, you don't have healthcare here. So that's the dichotomy, right? So all these things Donald Trump promised people, and these are for his voters, right? the people that can't see nobody else but Donald Trump. This is me talking to you. In Donald Trump 4 years, what has he done to change your life? Now, I'm not talking about the rich, because the only thing of prominence that he passed was a damn tax cut for the rich. And from what I see, his voters are, most of them are average Americans. Work at a job. It's more of those types than any other type in his voters. But what has he done in his 4 years of office that make you want to run to the polls and vote for him again? I would like to know. If you do have an answer to that question, put it down in the comments. What did Donald Trump do to make so many people go show so much loyalty to a man that did absolutely nothing for the people? Excuse me. That's Donald Trump. He made a whole lot of promises and didn't keep a damn one. All right, so let's go to Joe Biden. He actually came out, his team came out with a pretty decent plan. It was called Build Back Better, right? Because we were going through a transition of trying to come out of the pandemic and be better. So they came up with a plan called Build Back Better. Had a whole lot of paid family leave, child care, paternity leave. It had healthcare changes. It had a whole lot of stuff that would have been good for the American people. And if student tax cut for them where they could debt relief, like stuff like that, right? Had a lot of good stuff in Build Back Better and in Biden's agenda, because if you listen to the words he was saying of the stuff that he wanted to do, it sounded good on paper. But when it actually came down to legislation, yeah, we're going to let y'all stop paying student loans back right now, but eventually you're going to have to start that shit back. After you said you was going to give them student debt relief, right? And a lot of it was for HC, historically black colleges. And then they found a way to take that back, right? $15 minimum wage, the parliamentarian, that word that nobody really heard of until it came time for them to do something for the people. This new position that's always been around, but nobody ever talked about before. All of a sudden, the parliamentarian has more power than the president, more power than Congress, more power than the Senate, more power than the vice president. Because the vice president has power over the parliamentarian, which means whatever the parliamentarians say is just a suggestion, and the vice president could say, well, I don't like your suggestion. We're going to give the people $15 minimum wage. That could have happened, but it didn't, right? Train safety legislation should have happened because it was a slew of accidents happening with chemicals being spilled all over the place. The train workers went on strike. The Democratic Party crushed that. And then they try to fix it by going out there, standing with the auto workers, right? But you already screwed over another population of people, and then you want people to believe that you went out there with the best intentions in the world for the auto workers when we know you don't like unions. You said, I'm going to be the most pro-union president, but then you crushed the union when they was trying to get some sick time and things for the railroad workers, right? That's a hard word to say for some railroad. Yeah, that, right? So in 4 years, going into 4 years, if y'all don't believe what I'm saying, you could go back and look at pods that I did earlier. It has that information on there for you if you want to know. But I'm telling you that, right? Democrats did that, right? So what did Joe Biden do to earn your vote this time around? Because they fear mongered us into not voting for Donald Trump, which I don't believe anybody should because he didn't do shit to earn your vote. But what did Biden do? He allowed Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema to destroy a plan that could have helped so many people. So why do we owe Joe Biden our vote? I don't think we should, as a people, keep allowing them to tell us what they're going to do and then not do it. I think American citizens deserve a lot more than we get. And we should not be just handing out our votes. It should come and cost something for those folks, for those politicians. Right. So let's get to Cornel West. Cornel West has been all over the internet, all over TV. But what's really going on with his candidacy? Because at first, when he started running, I said, oh, I finally got somebody I can vote for. Right. Then he started talking, and when I hear him talk, not really hearing a agenda that's for everyone. Everybody has to be included in your plans if you want all people to come out and vote for you. You can't just be talking about racism. You can't just be talking about sexism. You can't just be talking about all the isms because you're excluding a whole group of other folks. So any longer can we take a run by Cornel West seriously at this point? Where's the backing behind you? I don't see it. You gonna have access to ballots? Don't see it. Right? So then we got RFK Jr., who at one point I kind of like what he was talking about. Then he started a pivot, started saying stuff that I was like, how can you hold this position? And then now you're talking something totally opposite. See, all they had to do, somebody made a call, made him change his whole tune when it came to the freedom and rights of other folks. Because a lot of people can't say, well, hey, the Ukraine war is bad. That's a bad war, but this other one ain't. It's war, period. They all are bad and people are suffering. So at the end of the day, what are we talking about when it comes to people get to pick which war they like? When all war at some point was a bad thing, because that meant people are going to be dying, right? So for somebody to say they're anti-war and then sanction another war, you lost me, sir, because that's signs of hypocrisy, right? So let's think. Jill Stein. Jill Stein actually has an agenda that I like. She of more of the Bernie Sanders mode, right? And also Marianne Williams is also in that vein as well. They are progressive, right? But the only one that makes sense out of all them jokers that I mentioned is Jill Stein. She's anti-war. She's for reparations. That taboo word, reparation. Yeah, she's for it. But guess what? She ain't gonna get. She ain't gonna get enough coverage for people to hear her agenda and be like, yeah, I like to vote for her. Because if you're not a Democrat, if you're not a Republican, any third party in this country, you still need electoral votes to pass. So she can beat both of them in a popular vote. But if she don't have the electoral college, what good will she be? Same thing for Marianne Williamson. I like what she talked about as well too. But then she made a pivot the same as RFK did, where one war was bad, then this one is I could tolerate. So, with all those people we just talked about, do we clearly have a choice of who everybody should be voting for? Like, what are we voting for? Sound like the same old crap that we've been had. Plain and simple. Same old trash policy will come. Everything in increments. Can't give you all nothing at once. Everything got to be incrementally given. So they keep you holding on, give you a little bit just so you can hold on, try to hold on your vote. Now, I refuse. I refuse to be the same person going into that booth and giving people my vote that ain't doing nothing for the folks. Nothing. That's what I got for y'all today. I know sometimes people just want sports, but that's not what this podcast is. I know sometimes people just want music, entertainment. That's not just what this podcast is. We touch on everything here at the Don't Listen podcast. That's why I say 24/7 boxing coming by way of the Don't Listen podcast, right? Because that's just a part of it. This is the whole. We gets it all. I try to give y'all information as I see that is needed. And I will continue to do that. As long as you all keep supporting me, you're going to see me, right? So if you don't mind, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share it to your friends. Let's get this thing started. We are back for 2024. You ain't going to get less, you're going to get more. And yes, indeed, I got more in store for all of you. I wish you all peace on your journey. Absolutely. We all need it today. peace would be nice. And I'm talking about peace of mind. Not a peace of mind, peace of mind. Right? Because if you're anything like me, you're tired of the same old thing. It's time to get these old people that's out of touch, out of positions of power. We need new leadership in all aspects of government so we can prepare for the new century. Because these people here got us stuck in the past. The only way they can negotiate with folks is by force, by war, and everybody is tired of it. I'm tired of seeing American sons and daughters going to these places where they are not liked because of the actions of our government. We are in all kinds of different scenarios around the world. With our kids' lives on the line that we send to the military, and when those folks come back, they are a shell of themselves. A lot of them are. That's the story that you never talk about. But that's a story for another time. We did what we came to do. We talked about what we came to talk about. But please hit that like and please subscribe to the channel. Let's make this thing go. Okay? Thank you all for watching. Peace to you all on your journey. This has been the Don't Listen Podcast. Peace, and I'm out. This is your boy TP, and welcome to 24/7 Boxing. Stop playing. This is your boy TP, and welcome to 24/7 Boxing.
You are listening to your Don't Listen Podcast. Stop playing.
This is your boy TP, and welcome to 24/7 Boxing. Stop playing. And a bronze 2006 at middleweight in Plovdiv. This is your boy TP, and welcome to 24/7 Boxing. Stop playing. This is your boy TP, and welcome to 24/7 Boxing. Stop playing.